us to look at what stories we have front back pages of the newspapers. And we have on the front page of the Daily Graphic, who gets on presidential ballot as Supreme Court clears way today. We also have EC worried over media calling results. Well, we know a lot more about that. We'll be doing a lot more interaction with the Electoral Commission, so we know.
I don't know. They should concentrate on organizing a credible election.
We asked them some critical questions. That, let's say, we have only 20,000 votes to be declared from 2 constituencies, and already the person or the party or the flag bearer who is leading by 40,000. What do you do? 40,000 votes, and you're only going to declare 20,000 out of 2 or 3 constituencies. What do you do? You
know, in that case, the projections that we make would be, not even calling. If you were to, no, I mean, we make projections, even if you were to add all the 20 to this person, sure. Usually that's how the analysis is done. I don't get the point.
So let's say the gentleman is leading by 40,000. So if, let's say, the one that will be coming from 2 constituencies is about 20,000, and all of it will go to the other candidates. This gentleman will still be leading by 20,000 anyway.
That's a projection.
So, yeah, so you call the result and say.
With this particular point, I don't get it for the Electoral Commission. If I should have a say,
they say don't call the
just
results.
Like we all have gnosis, everybody's entitled to it. I think you should concentrate with some 29 days, concentrate on your court issues and the ballots and all those little details, and do an elections and leave whether a media house decides to call it or not, because after all, it's projections that we make. We're not Electoral Commission to declare the results. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, so just please do the other stories.
I tell you. We have on the back page, government approves 1 million Ghana cedis for Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
1 million. Please read a bit of the story. When is it going to be disbursed?
And it says government has approved, when they say they are approved. Has approved the release of 1 million Ghana cedis to the Accra Psychiatric Hospital towards the provision of quality health care for the patients of the hospital. And the Ministry of Finance is currently working on the necessary processes for the release of the funds.
Brofo.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has already released a check for some 300,000 Ghana cedis and provided assorted medications valued at some 153,000 Ghana cedis for the hospital.
Oh, Ghana.
And, well, in an interview with the Daily Graphic in Accra, the public relations officer of the one with of the Ministry of Health, we've been speaking to him always, Tony Goodman, very good morning to you, said although the full amount was yet to be released by the Ministry of Finance, his outfit found it necessary to source funds to pre-finance the hospital as an interim measure. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know. Even the 300, I feel like following up and asking them if that check has cleared. 1 million, which is still being processed somehow. You're done with the graphic?
So we have a special feature on the Accra compost plant. It talks about to become waste management hub. It talks about a plant that processes or has the capacity to process about 600,000 tons of waste daily.
But it's the only one that we've got, right, Roland?
Yes, but I think
the only one of its kind.
But I think that another one is also being constructed in Kumasi.
Oh, okay, cool.
Same type with the capacity. And
but this is a private project, isn't it?
Yeah, but looking at the fact that none is available, I mean, it's a good initiative because we can't have the states.
Oh, no, definitely a good initiative. I'm just, I just think that maybe a lot more people should be looking at that side as well.
Because it's cost intensive and not many people can fund that. Yeah, it's looking at how much you have to put in when you start recouping.
Yeah.
I think that's what the business.
Let's do the Finder, front page of the Finder. $1. No, $1 is a dollar. $1 now is 4 Ghana cedis. Seasonal demand exerts more pressure on cedis. Story says government to issue 200 million Ghana cedis 10-year domestic bond. EC versus Endum. Others. Who wins at the Supreme Court's question? Who wins at the Supreme Court today? Gifted Chum Ampofo, I will retain Abuako North seats. That story on page 11 in the Finder newspaper. Really, that will be it for the headlines.
We have front page of the Ghanaian Times. It says Kwame Nkrumah Circle transformed. You have an overhead shot of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange We're told that the president is expected to inaugurate the first part very soon. I'm sure it'll be this month. We'll see how that goes. President also shakes Kumasi, and Nana also storms Kwesimin team in the Western region. Yeah. Let's see. The story is on page 11. I'm trying to see whether. Okay, so, and then page 11, you have a picture there. All right. So we'll see how the stories out there.
Okay, I can do the, you're done?
Yes.
No.
We're done.
Not quite. Let's do the Daily Dispatch. Reducing rejected ballots. Will horizontal ballots papers help? So if you've been following the Daily Dispatch, then you would know that there's a case for horizontal or vertical or some kind of thing. I think Benefson's trying to tell us something, but is the EC watching or listening? You can read the details.
It's all because of the number of people that are likely to be on the ballot. So do you say that
how did the MPP do its own when they had 17 people wanting to be flag bearers of the party?
I think they did the
vertical.
Straight.
Okay.
So
but haven't we always done the vertical?
Yes, but we haven't had these number of candidates.
But if you do
national,
but what's the difference between doing?
No, it's about you know, we have different levels of the demographics in terms of their literacy levels and their awareness levels and knowledge levels, you know. So that kind of influence or affects the way they kind of vote. I think that's what the Daily Dispatch is trying to do with this very education for the last 3 publications of the paper. I think significant.
Are we saying that horizontal allows for more room for you to see the person properly?
We could have people not, how do they, is it thumb printing well? Yes.
Okay. Oh, and then it will be sports ballots.
Yes.
Okay, I get the point.
So the argument is about whether if we do the vertical or horizontal, we're likely to reduce the sport ballots that we do.
I mean, are we even doing voter education in terms of how to vote right? Now that the ballots is not out, we don't know if it's going to be vertical or horizontal. So we can't even start that voting, that particular exercise, that education on it yet. We can't, right? Because if it was out, then we could use one as an example and say that this is how you vote, this is how not to vote, because then it will be counted as not a good vote.
But the parties can do or can start some level of education for their members.
Yeah, you can, but I'm saying that if you want to look at the exact way you vote so that your vote is valid, then you need a sample of the ballots.
How it's going to look like.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. You have a great point there. We have the Daily Guide. Tamara sues EC in fresh disqualification suit. We have NDC goons bid man over change slogan. And Akoto Ampao fears for December 7 polls. And those are the stories we have. Front page of the Daily Guide. And no make up for the hard copies. Now let's go soft. Because these days, news is changing. Being influenced by technology. I like the way you
say let's go soft.
Yeah, we're going soft. Okay, we're going soft.
So let's move on. Let's move on, please. This is not for our consumption.
With a face of, okay, Mama.
Pro MPP group screens hundreds at Omanjo. Yeah. Okay.
Omanjo.
Omanjo is where? I know Manjo.
Manjo is the other one that we know.
Ashalibuchi, but this one I don't know where that is. False story and attribution. President Mahama and ministers get 60% pay rise. What's that? We wish to debunk a story. Headline: President Mahama and ministers get 60% pay rise that has been mischievously attributed to Joy News and myjoyonline.com. So if you see a story out there that says Joy FM and myjoyonline.com have put out a story that says that President Mahama and ministers get 60% pay rise, just know that that story is not true. Okay, let's move on. Trump rushed off stage by security, but we know what is making headlines now is not really this incident, is the fact that the FBI has come to say that, well, there's nothing in Clinton's emails after all. It's nothing that they can pursue in terms of bringing charges against their elections, by the way. The final one is tomorrow. Let's move on, though. EU deploys 24 observers for December polls. That's another story there, which we brought you in at AM News. France confident in Ghana's economy. That's according to an ambassador, the French ambassador to Ghana. Also, we are resolute to deliver credible polls, Electoral Commission boss saying there. And the final one we'll take a look at here. Man assaulted for making jam to ASO gestures at Mahama's convoy. The biggest story today really is the fact that the Supreme Court will deliver landmark judgment on EC suit against PPP. A lot of people have said that the other cases pending in the lower courts will depend very much on the outcome of the Supreme Court case. City FM Online, Roland?
We have some of the stories, and Mavi talks about Supreme Court to rule on Ndum's disqualification today. And I have sleepless nights over high cost of credit. Oh, really? You do, eh? That's the Bank of Ghana governor. Ha. We have nocturnal nights. We don't even sleep at all. Serious. Or no sleepless nights, eh? Okay. We'll resist rigging in this election. Samira Baumia. She is the wife of the vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. She was at a mini rally. Okay. I've been told that when the rallies are not big, they call them mini. Especially when they don't get the crowd, then they immediately tell the journalists, one can say, one classify and say a mini, why? Mini rally. Immediately they get the crowd, it's a mammoth rally. At a mammoth rally. Okay, so we have Anders' attack on Hannah Tete's marital status primitive. And that's according to the NDC. And then we have regional breakdown. The 29,000 polling stations for election 2016. There's an infographic. Can we click this and see? I keep seeing this. I've never clicked it before. Let me see. Infographic. Away. In Indiana. Okay. ADAFA. And it's sourced to GhanaElections.com. All right, I think this is beautiful. If you want to get head start on this, you want to get a lot more information on this, the site is cityfmonline.com. Just go to the main page, scroll down, and you see this. It gives you a vivid description, infographics of the various polling stations for the 2016 elections. There are 29,000 polling stations for election 2016. And we have the regional breakdowns. Very, very good, colorful infographic there. Congratulations for putting that very story on the page. City FM Online. Matt, we go to the BBC page, Moabi.
Football fans killed in South Sudan attack. A gunman fires into a crowd watching the English Premier League, killing 11 and injuring 16. Really sad story, and it breaks my heart when stories like these make the headlines. For Africa. Nigerian Chibok girl found with baby. One of Nigerian school girls abducted by Boko Haram has been found with a baby, the military says. I'm not afraid of jail, says Zuma. The corruption allegations and the findings and people protesting and asking him to vacate his seat as president. He's saying apparently that he's not afraid of jail. So huge attack cuts Liberia net access. 3 hostages released in Libya. Nigeria judges suspended over corruption. Uganda low-cost schools ordered to close. So more of the Africa stories, though a lot of times heartbreaking, on the BBC Africa page. You can check it out and click on it. And
if you want to get some of the West stories, just click on. Don't go to CNBC Africa.
No, but the point is, most of the stories are also like a true reflection of what's happening in the places. So you can't blame them. And what makes headlines? In Ghana,
we don't have these problems. There was no bomb attack over the weekend. We watched English Premiership.
That's why we are not on the page. Are we on the page?
No, but we should be on the page. If we watch English Premiership, there was nothing. They should say groups of people watch English Premiership with no incident in Accra.
Really? Would you even read such a story? Want to read such a story?
I would.
Would you even want to listen if you're at home and somebody was reading that story to you on TV? Well, that's it for the headlines. Now you know what's in the newspapers. You have to get out there and go to the newsstands and grab the stories and read them in detail. we've got an eye at the Supreme Court. Will tell you if that case is heard earlier and there's a decision, we'll let you know. But we're definitely looking at the Supreme Court.